Welcome to the July 20th Rent Control Board. This is a public hearing, and I'm going to ask Craig to read the public hearing notice.
In accordance with Chapter 30A of the General Laws, Chapter 88 of the Acts of 2013, and the rules and regulations adopted December 16, 2013, the Easton Rent Control Board will hold a public hearing at 5 p.m. on Monday, July 20th, 2026, in the Colleen A. Corona Boardroom to Easton Town Offices, 136 Elm Street, Easton, Mass. The hearing will consider Crown Properties, LLC, located at 305 Turnpike Street, Easton, Mass. Request for approval to proceed with eviction proceedings against the below captioned residents. Unit 207, 219, 228, 69, 176, 62, 72, 211, 78, 27, 27A, Unit 64, Unit 68, Unit 178, and Unit 180. For more information, please go to www.easton.ma.us/eviction regs.
Great, so I'll take a motion to open the hearing.
So moved, Barger.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy. I will also take a motion to continue the public hearing to August 10th, 2026 at 6 p.m. as the Crown Communities didn't have all the materials that they needed for this meeting in time.
I move to continue the public hearing until Monday, August 10th, 2026 at 6 p.m. to be held at the same location in the Corona Boardroom.
Second.
So that's Bodger and Stacy. All in favor? Unanimous? And we do have one item on the agenda for minutes. So Craig, would you like to make a motion to accept the minutes
I
dated
so moved.
Second.
April 6, 2026? So that's Bodger and Stacy. All in favor? Unanimous. Terrific. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Barger.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy. All in favor? Unanimous. Terrific. All right. Next, welcome to the Water Commissioners meeting of July 20th. This meeting is being recorded. It's being broadcast online, and it is available to watch afterwards on local cable access at ECAT. This is a hybrid meeting, so if you are watching it, please put your questions into the chat, and Sean will let us know. Please include your name and address for our minutes. And we do have a quorum of the board, Jamie Stebbins, Jennifer Stacy, myself, Dottie Fulgenetti, and Craig Bodger. So we'll just jump right into it. Welcome.
Good evening. Dave Field, Director of Public Works. With me tonight is Scott Cheatham, our treatment plant supervisor. I just wanted to introduce Scott. He's been with us for 2 years. Started as treatment plant operator, and this winter was promoted to treatment plant supervisor. Jeff Clunan, our operations manager, is on vacation, so he couldn't be here, but we have Scott to help with any technical aspects of it. Scott is an expert in all things water treatment and DEP compliance. So to start, we just wanted to talk about our current state of water restrictions. We're currently on a level 2 state of water restrictions, which allow watering twice a week. We are triggered on stream flow. So when stream flow in the Taunton River at a certain gauge in West Bridgewater falls below a certain point for 3 consecutive days, we might need to enact stricter regulations, phase 3, but we're not quite there yet. Scott, you just want to give an update on where we stand on flows and...
So just to give you guys some reference, starting in May 1st is the beginning of basically what we call restriction season, and that goes all the way to September 30th. We started off at 390 cubic feet per second, and it steadily goes down throughout the season. We are currently, the last couple days, at 65 cubic feet per second and 67.3. We have a threshold of 47. So anything that dips below that, like Dave said, for more than 3 days, we have to basically enforce and up the restrictions. So I don't see us making it to the next board meeting, to be honest with you, as far as unless we get some torrential downpours, it's going to keep steadily going down. One of the other things I wanted to mention was the residential gallons per capita, which we have a threshold of 65 with the DEP. Last year we had a 59, and that's why we were able to start at the level 2 restrictions instead of level 3. Currently, we've pumped already almost 16 million more than last year, coming from May 1st up until yesterday when it closed out the day. So you're looking at roughly 1.7 residential gallons per capita per day. So those are some of our concerns.
So as Scott mentioned, when we meet that 65 gallons per capita per day for residential, we have the choice of entering the year in phase 2, which is our lease restrictions that we can do by our permit. If we don't meet that per capita per day, if we exceed that, we don't have the choice, and we have to start the year and go through the entire year in a level 3 restriction. So this is the first time in the last 5 years we've actually started in a level 2, primarily because of the work we've had done on our wells for adding PFAS, our work on the tanks, work on our treatment plant. We are, out of an abundance of caution, we started out in a higher restriction, even though we might have met the per capita per day requirement. But that's really where we stand. So I know we've gotten a lot of calls about water restrictions and when we're going to up them or if we're going to up them. So right now we're not required to, but it would be my recommendation and Scott and Jeff's recommendation to have this board vote to enter into it when we do meet that stream flow trigger of 47 cubic feet per second in the Town River. So that would be our recommendation. I'm happy to answer any questions and give any information you need.
Jamie?
Yeah, one question, and Scott, this might be for you. So it's increased since last year. We were below the 65
Right.
gallons per capita per day. If you rough that out, what would that be?
So just from May 1st until now, and I did some calculations, looking at maybe 1.75 increase, and that's just for these last couple months. That doesn't take into account flushing or unaccounted for water, but it's a pretty good guesstimate of that we're going up.
Okay.
And that doesn't even include the beginning of the year or how we're going to finish for the rest of the year.
Now, at this rate, when do you expect we would hit the current threshold that triggers it? You said it's, definitely.
As far as the 65?
Yeah, well, down to the 47, is it, where we have to go to phase 3? That's required, right, is my understanding?
I would probably say within 3 weeks.
Okay.
Barring no rain and, this.
And the
obviously-
forecast is.
Right. You got some, but not a ton.
Yeah, and it's either coming down really fast and not.
So you can
able
see
to-
the peaks and valleys. So it starts to go down, and then we'll have a little rain. So it comes up a little bit, and it keeps just gradually going down. So unless we get some significant rain, we will reach that threshold.
Well, the other thing is it's conservation of a resource. So
Right.
the sooner we start, the more we
Correct.
can get ahead of making sure we don't get super critical before we
Correct.
get into a real pickle. So.
And there's quite a few other communities that are in a pretty drastic drought right now. People pulling from the Segregated River, they're like full restrictions right now. So
So there is some differences between Easton and other communities. So we have a Water Management Act permit that was just updated in 2020 and spells out our stream flow triggers and when we need to put in restrictions. Other communities have just registrations where they don't have a Water Management Act permit. When the DEP declares a drought, they're required to go into full restrictions. And then other communities have different Water Management Act permits, which have different triggers. So that's why some communities are in, no watering at all, and some communities like us are allowing watering because our triggers are different. As far as our water usage, right now we have the capacity to pump it out of the ground. A lot of water,
A lot.
a lot more than we're registered for. So it's not a safety issue for us. If we lost several wells and a tank, that would be very different. Like for some reason we had a catastrophic loss of sources, that'd be a very different story. We'd be in here, enacting restrictions in an emergency basis. But that's really not the case right now. We're doing okay. But again, it's this board has the ability to enact those restrictions, and I would recommend that we do vote to enact them when we hit the 47, so we can seamlessly go into those higher restrictions.
And you anticipate, Scott, about 3 weeks before
I would say roughly about 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're dealing with weather forecasts. Like basically,
Right.
you have to be able to forecast the weather, so we can't really make that call. Last summer, it never hit below 47.
Right.
But we had a lot of rain, so it's a little different. But we anticipate the way it's trending that we would be into it in the next few weeks.
So is the thought that we would try to convene, even though we don't have a meeting, say it happens before our next.
No, what do you say? You're asking for a vote for us to allow you when we reach that trigger.
That'd be my recommendation, but obviously you guys
Okay,
can.
because then you'd be able to, with that vote, when we hit it, we wouldn't have to convene again and vote. Okay.
Yeah, we would put our notices out on our website, we'd put it in the paper, we'd throw signboards out advertising, level 3 restrictions, watering 1 day a week.
I did have some numbers for you guys too. So July 8th, 9th, and 10th, we had some rain. So we went from 65 on the 7th up to 170 on the 8th, 245 on the 9th, and then down to 200, and then it gradually went down to now until it's 65, 67. So it does go up and down pretty quickly. So I'd love to give you a hard number of definitely by 3 weeks, but it depends on precipitation.
Sure.
So that's when we have to do it, but can we be proactive and say we want to do it this week?
Yes, you have that ability to do that. No question about it.
If I had my way and I could get the vote, I'd go into level 3 right out of the gate. I feel like the last 2 years, it's really important for water conservation. And by the time and I'm not a scientist, you guys are the experts, just my own feeling is that by the time we get this close to it, it's just, there's no real benefit of if we were watering before, if you have to stop now. So I think that we didn't have any problems being in a level 3 the past couple of years. It worked, and I just appreciate the conservation of it. I don't know if the board
completely
feels
agree with
differently. Or
I feel like that we are going to take some time to socialize this and get people to actually start acting on it anyway. So why not start doing it now when we can, well, we're not in the danger zone. Once we hit 47, and then we're pushing people, and we're straining on resources for getting folks out there to actually push the compliance. So if we have more time, that's my feeling, that it gives us that little bit of runway.
Get a buffer.
Exactly, and like Dottie said, like I was alluding to earlier, like the conservation aspect, I think is critically important. So.
But I see it on my side, treatment, as the wells start to get lower throughout the season, we have great water quality. I just want to preface this. But I see a little bit of a decline as we start to go deeper into the
Things
wells.
concentrate, right? And it becomes more, and then we spend more money in filtration and other things that cause strain on the infrastructure. So.
Correct.
what do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm in agreement, just knowing how volatile it is right now. And you're right, while we look at potentially picking up half an inch tomorrow, it doesn't mean that we don't go on another 7, 8, 9, 10 day stretch without any rain. And you're right back to where we're at. So it's just, it's been a dry year. And like I said, a lot of other communities have been in much more restriction than we have up till now. And that's not going away anytime soon.
From the past, most water use is for irrigation for lawns, right? Like that's where we see a big bulk of it being used, which feels like not the best reason to push ourselves into.
It's definitely what we see an increase through this difference between the winter, fall, and the early spring into the summer, 1,000%. It's
I'm
irrigation.
sure a lot of people with green lawns right now are not like what I just said, but.
Correct, definitely.
Yeah, I would concur. I think it makes sense to be proactive at this point.
All right. I do just want to add a commentary for people at home. I would encourage people to go to the website and look at the link to be able to look at the monitor for your own home. And we had a running toilet a few months back, and the water went like that for the few hours. That it's a huge difference. So if anybody has leaks, especially when you put your irrigation system on and you don't even know that it's leaking underground, take a look at that so that we don't get the calls about the high water bills afterwards, which is usually what happens when somebody has a leak somewhere that's undetected. So definitely look at that, and definitely look at the website. I think that we have links on there about different water conservation measures. So a lot of really good ideas that people can use in their own home. It saves you money and it saves the resources as well. So, all right, Craig, if
So I
you,
move to go to water level 3, restriction 3 now.
Second.
so that's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. All right, excellent.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
much.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Dave.
Gentlemen?
I'll also ask for a motion to accept the minutes dated April 21st, 2026.
So moved, Roger.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. And a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Roger.
Second.
Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. Terrific. Thank you. All right, next, we are just moving right through the meetings here. Welcome to the July 20th Select Board meeting. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So just again, as a reminder, this meeting is being recorded and broadcast on our local cable channel and live streamed. You'll be able to access that upon demand after the meeting. It is a Zoom meeting, so if people are online watching us and they have a question, they can put their question in the Q&A and their name and address, and Sean will let us know. We appreciate that. And as always, if anybody has questions or comments, you can always email the board and send it to us, and we all get a copy of it. I'll ask, starting with Jamie, for introductions to ensure that we have a quorum.
Jamie Stebbins.
Jennifer Stacy.
Dottie Fulgenetti.
Craig Barger.
And we have our town administrator, Liz Dennehy, our deputy town administrator, Sean Dugan, and our senior executive assistant, Elizabeth Hegg. And we're going to jump right into it. The first item on the agenda is the announcements, proclamations. And we want to remind you about Purple Heart Day ceremony. Sean, do you want to take that one?
Sure, yeah. VSO, Veteran Services Officer Jason Snyder, is going to be hosting this year's annual Purple Heart Day event, August 7th, 9 a.m., right outside of the town offices by the flagpole in observance of National Purple Heart Day. Afterwards, there's going to be a small convening. There'll be a speaker set. Elected officials, folks from the Legion and the VFW will be there, and then we'll have refreshments afterwards inside in the town office building, and this will be our backup location in case we have inclement weather.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We hope to see people there. We usually have a pretty good crowd. All right, for licenses and permits, the first one is a one-day liquor license for Gianna. It's an employee appreciation event, which will be held in the parking lot at 3 Roosevelt Circle, July 26th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. The storm date is August 3rd. Hold on one second while I catch up to this. Is Brandon here?
He is. He's joining us virtually, and he is
Oh, okay.
on right now.
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, there you go. His video is not on, so that's why you're not seeing him, but he is here as a panelist.
Oh, okay. Hi, Brandon.
How are you? Sorry, video isn't working.
That's okay.
Okay. So you're requesting a one-day beer and wine license for your employee appreciation event to be held in the parking lot. Anything that you want to tell us about that?
No, it's in conjunction with an annual car show that we do in the parking lot around the same time. So we did it last year. We just didn't have Employee Appreciation Day on the same day. We didn't have alcohol, so that's the only difference.
Okay. And is the public invited to the car show, or is that part of your private event?
Yep, it's all open to everyone. We're kind of doing a joint venture here, so yep, open to the public.
Terrific. And the Easton Police recommend a one police detail officer?
Yep, we already lined that up. That's it's in process.
All right, sounds good. Any questions from the board? No?
I move to approve the one-day liquor license for Gianna Employee Appreciation Event, parking lot at 3 Roosevelt Circle, July 26, 2026, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. with a storm date of August 3rd.
Second.
So that's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous.
Have a good time.
Thanks, Brandon. Good luck with your event.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, next we have Fernandez Lumber, their green egg cooking class at Ace Hardware, 699 Depot Street, August 7th, 2026, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Frank Altieri of Shoveltown Brewery has applied for a one-day beer and wine license for the Fernandez Lumber event. The Easton Police do not require a detail for this one. It's a wildly successful event, and lots of fun things, great vendors, giveaways, food, and I think some of the people here have attended that in the past. And any questions from the board?
No?
So I move to approve the one-day beer and wine license for Fernandez Lumber Green Egg Cooking Class, Ace Hardware, 699 Depot Street, August 7th, 2026, from 4 to 10 p.m.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. Terrific. Next, board and committee appointments. The first one we have is Alexandra Daniel, and that's for the Cultural Council with a term ending of June 30th, 2028. Is Alexandra here? Present. Hello. Do you want to come up to the table? Yep. The microphone does not amplify, it's for cable, so just so you know that.
No problem at all.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in the Cultural Council.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to meet everyone. I'm Alexandra Daniel. Thank you. Soon to be Alexandra Goodrow. I got married a couple months ago as well.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. I work as a financial consultant out in Boston, but I've also been an Easton resident since I was in 6th grade. And in a lot of the organizations I'm part of, I really like to give back to my community. I've founded 2 employee resource groups. I have a lot of project management, strategic planning background, and I just want to be able to find a better way to give back to the community that I love. And I saw this appointment open, and you guys were open and willing to have me join you today. So
Oh, that's terrific.
That's great.
Jamie, we'll start with you. Any questions?
Just excited, and yeah, thanks for coming out and volunteering and being
course.
part of this. And we're always excited when we get new faces, new people, because it means more opportunities, and there's other volunteer opportunities that come up. So this is great.
great, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll second that. You have an awesome background that aligns well, and I can tell you're passionate about it. So thank you
Thank you.
for throwing your hat in the ring for it.
Of course.
Thanks for volunteering.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you.
So the Cultural Council gets money from Mass Cultural Council, and they put out like a request for people to do applications to get that funding locally. So what they do is review those applications. They vote on who they'll give the funding to and for how much, and then they manage those grants to make sure they happen, then pay them back out. And it's really it's exciting because there's a lot of great stuff happening with local artists. We also have Cultural District, which is different than the Cultural Council. The Cultural District is the one that plans the events in the town. For instance, we have the summer concert series right now every Wednesday through August. It starts at 7. We block off in front of Oak Ames Hall. There's food trucks. Some weeks it's a pizza oven. The Shoveltown Brewery is there. The first week we had about 400 people. Last week I wasn't able to be there, but it sounded like there were about 200 people there. So really great bands. We socialized that on Facebook and in the town crier. So they're loosely related, but it's not the same one. Just I say that to the public because for like 2 years I thought it was the same thing. So if you want to come to any of those events, make sure you're welcome to join and bring your family and friends.
I will.
And we're really thrilled to have your interest. Also, for the people at home, the Cultural District has an art gallery that's on the property of the Shovelworks apartments. So it's a great place. It's open on Saturdays and Sundays to go in and see art from local artists. So if you're interested in that.
Perfect.
So Craig, you want to make a motion?
So I move to approve Alexandra Daniel to membership in the Cultural Council with a term ending June 30th, 2028.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor. Oh, it's a roll call vote, I'm sorry.
Do you want to memorialize her name coming, if we use both Daniel and, is it Goodrow?
Goodrow, yep.
Do you want to say Daniel Goodrow?
Yes.
Okay, so Stebbins, Daniel Goodrow.
Stacy Danielle Goodrow.
Fulgenetti, Danielle Goudreau.
Is it Alexandra?
Alexandra, yes.
Alexandra Daniel Goodrow. Okay.
Barger.
Barger, I apologize. Just catching up here.
All right, you are so appointed. You'll get an email from the town clerk, and you'll have to get sworn in first, and they'll give you the information on when the first meeting is. So,
Great, sounds good.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, we have Donna Horan for the Affordable Housing Trust with a term ending of June 30th, 2028, who withdrew. So that will be open again for people. The Affordable Housing Trust is a really great and important committee, so we encourage people to consider applying for that. For the Commission on Disabilities, we have Frank Mayon with the term ending June 30th, 2029. Is Frank here? Okay, hold on one second. Get to the right agenda here. So Frank has been working as a PT for more than 25 years with lots of experience with the geriatric population. He hasn't been on a board or a committee before, but he would like to be on the Commission on Disabilities, which is also another great committee doing wonderful things for the town. So can I get a motion and a second and a roll call vote for Frank?
So I move that, is it Mahone or?
Maybe Mahone, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I move to approve the application for Frank Mahone to the Commission on Disabilities with a term ending June 30th, 2029.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, and a roll call vote.
Stebbins, man.
Stacy Mann.
Full Janetti Mahone.
Barger, Mahone.
All right, we have that, we will notify him through the town clerk as well. The next one is the Environmental Stewardship Committee with a term ending on June 30th, 2029, and I'm happy to see Brett Silverman here for that one. Come on up, Brett.
Hello.
Brett's a familiar face to us around here. He worked at Town Hall for a little while as an intern, and glad to see you back. And
Couldn't get enough of town government, so glad to be back here.
you couldn't quit us. So tell us why you're interested in the Environmental Stewardship Committee.
Yeah, so I've been an Easton resident basically my whole life to start off, and I'm currently working in a nonprofit where we do environmental stewardship work for the city of Newton, and this is very much aligned with that. So I want to continue that in Easton as well.
Terrific. Jamie?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's, I'm on that committee, and it's a great team. Very active. One of our chairs who just left is backfilled by another wonderful person. So we've got just a great committee that's interested in doing a lot of things, and it comes down to bandwidth, right? So
Absolutely.
I think you're joining because you have some bandwidth, and they're going to so appreciate having someone else with more, right? Because there's just more than if we had 20 members, we could occupy all their time. So this is great, and thanks for coming out.
Of course.
It's good to see you again, and it sounds like you're going to have some really great work experience that you're going to be able to dovetail into this, so that's a win.
Awesome.
I love to see the fact you're following your dad into volunteering for our community. So I'm excited about it too, Brett.
Thank you.
I think this is a great fit, so thank you so much.
Of course.
Would you like to make a motion?
Sure, with my pleasure. I nominate Brett Silverman to Environmental Stewardship Committee with a term ending June 30th, 2029.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy with a roll call vote.
Stebbins Silverman.
Stacy Silverman.
Full Janetti Silverman.
Barger, Silverman.
Terrific. The town clerk will reach out to you, get you sworn in, and give you the schedule.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Good
Thanks,
to see you,
Brett.
Brett. Next, we have Steve Brando. Steve's not here. So Steve applied for a previous committee, so we've met him before at our last meeting. He is interested in the Historical Commission alternate position for a term ending June 30th, 2028. So can I get a motion?
Yeah, so I move to appoint Stephen Brando to the Historical Commission as a commission alternate with a term ending June 30th, 2028.
Second.
So that's Bodger and Stacy with a roll call vote.
Stebbins Brando.
Stacy Brando.
Full Janetti Brando.
Barger, Brando.
Terrific. And the last one is Robert Corradini, and this is for the Cable Advisory Committee with a term ending of June 30th, 2029. Robert was at our last meeting as well, and also wanted to apply for the Cable Advisory. So, Craig?
I move to appoint Robert Cordini to the Cable Advisory Committee with a term ending June 30th, 2029.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy with a roll call vote.
Stebbins Cordini.
Stacy Corradini.
Full Janetti Corradini.
Barger, Cordini.
All right, terrific. And we still have some vacant seats, so I'd encourage people to go to the town website, go to the bottom left in the blue navigation bar, look for volunteers, and you click on that, and it will give you a listing of all the opportunities for volunteer along with an application. So we appreciate everybody who gives of their time to come forward and help roll up their sleeves to get things done in the community. Next, we have a discussion and vote for the Easton Celebrations Committee with a charge and appointments. Sean, do you want to lead into this one, or do you want me to?
You can.
Okay. The Tricentennial Committee's mission has now successfully completed. They're just wrapping up some of the paperwork and loose ends. And many of the committee members have expressed interest in carrying this momentum forward through the creation of the new Easton Celebrations Committee. The proposed committee would build upon the accomplishments of Easton 300 by organizing community events that will foster opportunities for residents of all ages to connect and celebrate with the town. In many ways, the Easton Celebrations Committee represents a natural evolution of the tricentennial effort, transforming a one-time anniversary celebration into an ongoing commitment to community engagement, town pride, and shared experiences for years to come. We do have a draft of the charge in the attached. The charge suggests having 10 members serving one-year terms and subject to annual select board appointment. One of the 10 members should be a member of the select board to serve as the board's liaison. We do have a list of 10 members. It's in the packet, and hold on one second. Thank you. So the 10 volunteers are Dave Clifton, Dale Carrister, Jeanette Camara, Diane Lusardi, Anne-Marie Taylor, Rosalind Miller, Joan Lundgren, Fred Ames, and Amanda Hurley. These were all people that served on the Tricentennial Committee, so they're not new to us. So effectively, we're kind of just starting this committee with those same people. The term expiration is June 30th, 2029 on this.
2027.
Oh.
Is it? It might be a typo. Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be 27.
2027.
Yeah.
Yep, it's 27 here and it says 29 there. And we'll make this with a slate, but I do want to invite the chairs of the Tricentennial Committee, Dave Clifton and Dale Carrister, to come up with their hats and hair. They just couldn't get away. They had so much fun, they're back.
Not done yet.
We would have wore the uniforms, but they fell apart because we wore them so much.
So thanks for being here tonight. We'll just give you a couple of minutes to tell us a little bit about how you're wrapping up the Easton 300, where people can buy the annual book that you had done last year, and to tell us about your exciting ideas for this year.
Well, it's really been a success story in terms of talking with people in the community. There's been terrific feedback. And I think the success is a direct result of a strong committee. And beside the strong committee, there are coordinators and other volunteers, up to about 100. And thank you to all of the sponsors who were very generous in making sure that we could pay all of our bills for a year-round celebration. I thought that very appropriately we selected the right theme, bringing families and the community together. And we're forever grateful to all the town department heads, starting at the top with the select board, the administration, and all the department heads bent over backwards to do what they could. And they too realized that it's time for the community to have fun and to enjoy time with their families. I'm forever grateful to the guy sitting on my left. He is a guy that is not afraid to wear uniforms whenever I make a phone call. The fact is that he's always been there, and he handles people. And I think that's the reason for the success, is that we be tactful in our approach, and that we make sure that everybody has a suggestion and recommendation. And believe it or not, I'm happy to report to the Easton Select Board that after 3 years, the same committee gets along with each other. They're still talking to each other. So they had fun as well. And you can see that because they're interested in being involved in the celebration committee as well. Dale, what have you got to say about yourself?
So, well, I won't speak about myself, and you'll be happy to know the hair has been put to rest, so that likely will not be coming back out again. We took very seriously the mission you gave us about bringing families and community together, and we felt, especially during what had otherwise been perhaps a divisive political year with various votes and so forth, that we really needed that, bringing the families and community together, and we're really looking forward to carrying that spirit forward. We've been very privileged to have the level of volunteer support that we did throughout, and we're looking forward to carrying that forward. I don't know if you're ready for me. I can just talk a little bit about some of the things we're thinking about for going forward for the new committee. But we are contemplating having a bonfire and perhaps fireworks event on October 17th. Dave has already been doing a lot of the background work, working with Justin Alexander and so forth, in the hope that this committee would then be formed and we can march forward with that. And that would be similar to the bonfire event we had last year with live music up at the schools. Dave's already met with the schools to talk a little bit about what this might look like and the availability. So a lot of the legwork has already been done. We'll be working to raise some sponsorship dollars to cover the costs and so forth. We're also giving thought to some other activities going forward. One of the things that was very popular is when we did last year the blanket giveaway for the graduating seniors. It's something that really encapsulated the mission of bringing families and community together. And I couldn't think of anything better than sending our graduating high school seniors off with a blanket when they might be a little homesick to begin with, and reminding them of their connection to Easton. And so there's strong support amongst folks for doing something similar. And that was something that was provided to all of the graduating seniors, regardless of whether it was the regional OA or private schools, or homeschool, and so forth. So we look forward to continuing the good work going forward.
I put together a manual for the Easton 300. Now, this manual is about 250 pages, but it's a highlight of everything that happened. And there may be people that walk into town hall from another community that are interested in how do you run a celebration like this. It's all here. We also have another manual, 260 pages, and you folks have probably seen that. And I'd like to show that on camera because there may be people out there that like to buy our anniversary book. And I think it's going to sell. I think everybody in town is in it. And I think it's kind of special because it highlights all the events. And it shows when you look at this manual, I should say the anniversary book, that it looks like this is a fun community. It's an educated community. It's a community that gives a priority to the importance of families doing things together. And I've had the opportunity with my experience to be in a couple of communities, and I've seen what they have, and I got to tell you that this book here is unbelievable. We even spelled a few names wrong so that people would look at this. No, I'm only kidding. The fact is that between the manual, and we also have a third book, and that's the minutes of 80 meetings from 2023 to the present time. And when you think about this committee, you think about the treasurer. She's not only the treasurer at a local bank in town, she was the treasurer for 3 years for our celebration committee. I'm talking about Jeanette Camara. She's also the treasurer of the Friends of Borderland State Park. How she finds the time to do that is truly amazing. But there's lots of people that did lots of things. I think I've said to you before, it takes 37 people just to do a parade. So it doesn't, when I say 100 people, I may be a little short on numbers. But I thank the Easton Select Board for putting our committee together. It's been an honor for my good friend Dale and myself to take a leadership role, and it's been kind of special. When I think about all the things that have happened, we even had a good weather report. Nothing was canceled. 22 events, 8 major events on 7 different days. And the sun wasn't always shining, but the fact is that we had huge attendance, and we're forever grateful to that. Any questions that the board may have? And a thank you to the administration as well. And even Elizabeth, all the things that she has done to provide whatever help and support you could give us.
Can I put a plug in? So the anniversary book is only $50. They're available at the Wednesday concert series. So we'll have a table set up right next to you. You're getting your beer at Shoveltown. Stop in and get a book, only $50. We'll have those for each of the Wednesday concerts. They're also going to be available. We're doing a pole banner pickup program. This will be over at Al Provost's business right next to Fernandez Lumber this Saturday and Sunday, I believe from 10 until 12, if I'm not mistaken. So folks who did a pole banner can pick up their commemorative banner to keep, and they can also purchase a book. We are also having books available at Frothingham Hall, Bank of Easton, and the Easton Historical Society. So there are a lot of ways, and think about your holiday shopping earlier, and you get more than one. It's a nice item to have. And I did also want to just express my personal appreciation for all that Dave has done. None of this would have happened but for what Dave had done with his inspired, talented, and dedicated leadership to this. And I am thrilled that Dave is continuing to willing to devote himself to these efforts going forward. And we're hopeful that it's just our small little part of helping to make Easton special in what it is. We're very fortunate in town for having as many community service organizations that we do, whether it's the Lions or other organizations. And this is a small little piece, I think, of contributing to that spirit going forward.
And likewise to Dale.
Oh, you already said something, you're all done.
Well, thank you. Jamie, do you have any comments and questions?
Big thank you to, and you guys have been here in front of us many, many times over the last few years, and your leadership even outside of this Centennial Committee. You guys do a lot for this community and bringing people together for other issues and matters and working through, as you mentioned, some of the things that become political footballs too. And you guys are really level-headed about it, and your leadership is extremely appreciated. And so thank you guys. And I'm excited about continuing and allowing others to get involved and volunteer for carrying on this.
Our pleasure.
So thanks.
Yeah, and we have a committed group of the folks that are listed, that as Dottie read them, who contributed in huge ways on the Tricentennial Committee and are dedicated to doing the same for this committee going forward. And I was pleased to see that in your draft charge, it appears to contemplate that this is a committee that will continue going forward. So not just one event for this year, but we'll have the opportunity to do similar events going forward. And I would expect that we would continue to work with the select board and other departments in town to see what folks' input is in terms of where we can have various events. And I know you also mentioned in the charge about taking resident input as well. So we'll look to reach out to folks to see what folks would like to have happen in town.
Terrific. Jen?
Just want to thank you both again. Like it really, and the volunteers. Like you said, there were so many behind the scenes that helped make all those things happen. It really was a magical year, from the bonfire at the school to the time capsule. That's one of my kids' favorites, like sitting up there and raising their hand to get called, and the gala, everything. It was really just magical, and we needed it. You're absolutely right. It came at a right time for our community. And one of the things I think we all heard after was we want to keep this magic and momentum going in some way, and I'm really glad that we've found a way to do that. And it's because you're kind of taking the charge, and seeing this group of names here again, ready to step up and keep it going, is really exciting because you did a great job before, so we're looking forward to see what comes next.
And that Craig Badger was a terrific member as well.
He's all right.
Frank, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. One is it was an absolute pleasure for me to be the select board representative on the Tricentennial Committee. I enjoyed every moment, and I appreciate all the work that you and every other volunteer did on behalf of this town. And I want to read something from the charge for the new committee that I think is really important. The committee shall be supported through voluntary donations, sponsorships, fundraising activities, and other non-municipal sources. Funds shall be maintained in a dedicated town account established for the benefit of the committee and shall be used exclusively to support committee-sponsored events and activities, period. I think that was very important because we had a lot of questions about that going back from the beginning of the Tricentennial, and I wanted to put it on the record.
And by the way, Craig, you'll be happy to know that my understanding is both Amanda and Diane are committed for another complement of fresh baked goods for all of our
Which
meetings.
is one of the
going
main
forward.
reasons why you would
Best
come to the
committee in
meeting.
town, I tell you.
Well, when you first came in, you talked about, a couple of events that were going to happen, and we kept it to, 10 people on the committee. It escalated into like 10 signature big events with tons of little events. I honestly was very skeptical of how are they going to pull this off. Every single one was better than the next. I mean, it was really amazing. And the crowds on the first event at Stonehill, the kickoff event, it was a bitter, freezing cold day, and I thought, oh, this is going to be awful. They're not going to get that many people. It was jam-packed, like every single one. People were having the time of their lives. It was just such a pleasure to see it and to be a part of it. I want to say that we are keeping the Tricentennial Committee, the Tricentennial account open for the next, whether it's, I don't know, I won't be here 25, 50, 75 years from now, to keep that account open so that the community has a place to invest money into it so that we can keep celebrating these momentous events. It will be separate from the celebrations committee, so we'll find a way to, if there's leftover money, consider moving some of that in as seed money, if you will. But again, it will be funds that were from that original. Not all the funds. We will keep in there because we already have people that I've heard that want to continue to donate to that and to this. So just to be clear for people, you had such a great team. Courtney Pupkin did an amazing job with fundraising and shaking down everybody for everything, sponsorship, funding, hands-on. Chris Ventresco also did, I don't know that he knew what he was getting into when he volunteered to do the photography. He did that book just to look at the pictures alone is a gift. I mean, the photos in there are just spectacular. It's on my coffee table. I look at it often, like really amazing. So I want to thank him and his family for the many hours. And, you know, it started with 10 volunteers, and then as I was doing things around town, everybody was like, oh, I'm on the Tricentennial Committee, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't remember nominating you on that. Like, everybody was on the Tricentennial Committee. You guys had hundreds of volunteers, and they weren't saying I'm a volunteer. They were saying I'm on the committee, which really shows that everybody, we can't have 100 people on a committee because you'd never be able to have a meeting because you wouldn't be able to get quorums. We've tried that with big committees before, so keeping it to 10 does not limit the work to 10. That's the 10 voting members that will do the administrative and the, you know, the guts of it. But I'm sure you're going to have tons of volunteers that want to be a part of this as well. And I would really encourage people to be a part
Also,
of
a
that.
special thank you, Madam Chair, to Ken Michael
Yep.
with the Historical Society. He did a lot of things above and beyond the call of duty. And actually, I shouldn't mention names because there's so many that I have fear that they don't think I appreciate it, but they certainly do.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
And, you know, you were talking about like other towns, and I've heard that you have been acting as a consultant for other towns that have these big festivities. They all know that you're the guy to call. So that makes me smile, and I think that that's something that you should be very proud of. And your work has been amazing, Dave. So we appreciate everything that you and Dale and the whole team have done.
If I may just briefly add to the two remaining things, I think for the Tricentennial Committee, it's going to be continuing to sell the anniversary book, which will bring more revenue into the account. We have somewhere about, I don't know, another 400 or 500 books in inventory, somewhere thereabouts. I'm not sure exactly where we are on the numbers, but we're reasonably confident that we'll sell all of those books. And second, we also have a subcommittee that has been formed, and we've already had sort of approval from the committee for a certain budget amount to provide a sort of permanent commemorative tribute for the town. And we'll need to work with Dave and others in town and the select board, but we've got some ideas in mind that will. What we're contemplating is something that would have sort of a timeline of Easton's 300 years of history and also a timeline of what we did during 2025. We've got some ideas of where we would like to place it in town. Obviously have to confer with others on that, but we understand we need to move quickly on that. So the subcommittee is Dave, Ed Hands, Ken Michael, and myself, and so we're working quickly to move that forward. So I expect at some point we'll come back and provide you with some ideas of what we'd like to do. And make sure we're obtaining whatever approvals we need in order to do that going forward.
Okay. And just so you know, follow Mass Cultural Council because they have grants available for festivals and events like that. And you can also apply to the Easton Cultural Council in October to see if there's opportunities for you there as well.
Excellent.
So
Thank
I'll
you.
keep looking for grant opportunities.
Great,
for you.
thank you, appreciate that.
All right, so with that, we need to vote on the committee and the charge. The creation of the committee and the charge, and then we'll separately vote for the appointments as a slate.
So I move to approve the new Eastern Celebrations Committee as presented in our package.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. And then the
So I
slate.
move to approve the slate that was proposed by the chair.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor?
Slate, Stebbins slate?
Yep.
Stacy Slate.
Full Genetti slate.
Barger slate.
And should we vote for Craig separately because he's the select board representative?
You're voting.
All right, I'll make a motion to appoint Craig Bodger as the select board representative.
Second.
So that's Full Genetti and Stacy with a roll call.
Stebbins Barger.
Stacy Barger.
Full Genetti Barger.
Barger.
Terrific. Thank you so much for being
Thank you,
here
gentlemen.
tonight. You
Thank
guys
you, guys.
are off to
Thank
the
you.
races.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dale.
All right, next we have discussion and vote Fontaine Brothers with a change order number 10 for the public safety buildings.
gentlemen. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, you got the squeaky chair.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think it's the desk. But Sean, do you want to go over anything before I start?
Nope.
All right. You got it. Let's see.
Well, I can just give the introduction that's in the packet. Under the process established by the Municipal Building Committee and approved by the Town of Easton Select Board, the Technical Review Committee has reviewed and recommends for approval change order number 10 for the Easton Police, Fire, and Public Works Facilities Project. Additionally, PMA and KBA have independently reviewed each cost component and are recommending approval at this time. Change order number 10 is in the amount of $185,684. And this is the really important part. As of July 13th, 2026, and with the execution of change order number 10, 76.3% of the contract time has elapsed, 5.6% of the owner contingency will have been expended, 88.5% of the owner contingency is held in reserve for known risk pending resolution. A detailed list of the individual change authorizations captured within change order 10 is included in our packet, and now you can give your presentation and additional comments.
Perfect. So I'll run through the PCOs for clarification for both the public and for the board's knowledge. PCO 75R1 was $10,599 for Firematic equipment being purchased originally under FF&E budget. So this will not come out of the FF&E budget, but was purchased to make sure that we align with public procurement laws. It was for very particular items for the fire substation, roll hooks, hand sanitizer stations, shower shelves, shower kits for the bathrooms, items that really don't have a way to get on public procurement. PCO 82R1, $5,999 for bench and stools in the detention area. These are very specific stainless steel benches and stools in order to keep prisoners and officers safe while bringing them in through the detention. There was no specification section in the bid documents, so it wasn't reasonably anticipated for pricing. So the contractor really didn't carry anything in his bid, so fair to say that it wasn't paid for in the bid, but paid for through this. PCO 87 was a paperwork item, casework revision per fire department request, so $0 PCO to make sure it was captured. PCO 90 was $2,062 to install power and data for ceiling-mounted TV displays in the day room and kitchen. To allow for people cooking to also have access to a television while people who were waiting for them to prepare a meal could also be watching something. So not shown in the drawings originally, but paid for through this. PCO 90, $3,032. This was one of our favorite third-party utility contractors providing us a detail after we've already had approval to change 10 bollards from 7'2" to 9 feet. We have a couple more associated with our friends over there, but that was at the fire substation specifically, having to upsize those after they were approved. PCO 99, $0 PCO for replacement of cameras in the interview room. I believe the cameras are that we owned were kept as or returned and able to be restocked, so $0 on that one. PCO 100 R1. $67,000. I believe this is one of the largest two of the evening. This was a deletion of the 8-foot signal pole and its wiring at the fire substation, modifying the indicated 25-foot mast arm pole at the east end of the app bay, and moving it from the north side to the south side of the road, and the mast arm was increased to 40 feet. Greg, I'll let you go into a little bit further detail on that one.
Yeah, so the original permitted set had the mast arm for Main Street on the westbound lane across the street, basically next to Hilliard's behind the sidewalk there. When we got out in the field and actually spotted the property lines, we did not have enough room on that side of the street to place the base. So this change moves the mast arm for the eastbound lane back onto the fire substation property. It just uses a slightly larger mast arm that overhangs the westbound lane. Overhangs the eastbound lane to get the westbound lane picked up with fire signalization. We also removed a single light coming out of the secondary drive lane from the back of the station that is not really needed and would have been, again, beyond the right-of-way on the north side of the road.
Would have been a little bit disruptive to one of the abutters as well, and I think they were very happy to hear that it was being removed. So it did limit the exposure on this one, and probably made at least one person happy. PCO 107.
One thing I just want to clarify on this. So you said the initial was 67,514, but then the approved cost is 58,133.
I'm sorry. Did I have that wrong? If I did, I apologize. Let me double check. Is that because the credit?
Credit, yeah.
Yep.
The reason I'm calling that out is
Yep.
because these are like vetted very deeply
You
by
are-
the
you're
committee,
correct.
and
That
so
didn't have
they
the
give you
credit
a
in.
cost, but you negotiate some of those down using credits or whatever. So
It didn't have the credit for the deletion of the poll.
Right.
That was the submitted cost was originally just the ad,
Yep.
and then they added in the cost. You are correct. 58,133.
but I think it's good for people to see
Absolutely.
that that these are really
Triple checked.
scrutinized. Yep.
Yep. PCO 107, breaker changes in the laundry area, the garage bay, one of the panels and refrigerators, changing those to GFCI protected outlets per the authority having jurisdiction. That was 11,961. I apologize if I have any of these. I'll double check them as we go.
Yeah, the rest of them are all the same amount.
Yep. Thank you.
When you say per the authority having jurisdiction, that's just the
Electrical
code?
inspector.
Yeah.
Or
Which is the-
it depends on what section of the building we're in. It could be the fire department, could be the building inspector, it could be the plumbing inspector, could be the wiring inspector.
Okay.
Yeah, could be one of them.
Yeah, so this particular item, there was a carve out in the electrical code allowing for not using GFCIs in these areas for a portion of time. That has expired, unfortunately, per the state electrical board. The issue is that these devices, so the fire trucks, refrigerators, and other things, generally don't work well on GFCIs, so there has been an exemption to allow them to be non-GFCI rated. The authority having jurisdiction has asked for them to be GFCI rated at the breaker. So that is what we've done, and we'll continue to monitor the work in the field, make sure it's functioning well, and if it's not, we'll address it at that time.
Because the issue being, you might get tripped erroneously.
Yeah, exactly, Jamie. It tends not to work with these devices, trickle chargers, things like refrigerators and things like that. So
Okay.
that is what the issue
If
is.
it becomes problematic, we'll address it.
We'll have to address it, yes.
Okay.
Perfect. PCO 109, $3,448. This is changing 5 fixture types from wall mounted to canopy mounted. At the fuel canopy, they were incorrectly identified on the drawings. I believe we changed them to the canopy mounted and also kept the other fixtures as attic stock for other locations. PCO 112, again, back to our favorite utility company, changing to the 12 bollards at public safety from the 7'2" to the 9' after the drawings were already approved. So we'll capture those and make sure that they're able to sign off on it. PCO 113, $37,416 for police specific equipment. Originally anticipated, I believe, to be carried under FF&E, but going to procure it to remain in compliance with public procurement laws. This is it. There was a carve out for them on one of these previous state bid lists, but I believe it was expired or determined not to be on there. So this was purchased through the construction contract, and it is video evidence system equipment and install for the 3 interview rooms. We did have a credit captured for the original equipment that was carried, but this is the one that was desired, and that was the total for those 3 rooms for fit out equipment and install through the contractor.
Yeah, so in this change order, there's a $0 credit for the original video system. So we already had the original cameras within the project. Those will be turned over as attic stock. They're similar to other cameras in the facility, so should a camera break, there'll be additional cameras on site to be replaced, in kind. In the evidence areas, so the interview rooms particularly, this system was preferred by the police department. It is a segregated evidence system for video, as opposed to what the the base design was, which was integrated with the overall security system. So this just takes that evidence, segregates it off into a completely separate system, just a little bit, more secure than an integrated system that other folks might have. Though password protected access to different areas of the original security system, this is just a completely police controlled system in totality.
Moving on to PCO 119, this is a $702 PCO for a small trailer rented for temporary furniture storage. This was in conjunction with the the grid push out on power and really getting to substantial completion and temporary certificate of occupancy. We had to pull furniture out and store it because it was getting too tight. Wanted to make sure we're in compliance with what the building inspector wanted, and to make sure that we're in compliance with Mass General Law for what's allowed in a building. So we had to store those in a unit up until that time. PCO 120 was a $0 PCO for the substantial completion date change from 5/19 to 7/8. That was, so we lost about a month and a half on substantial completion. However, we are currently in the building. We have a temporary certificate of occupancy. We're working we are well in advance of where our original schedule was for fire being in that building. It was actually supposed to be really the end of July. So even with that delay from the utility company and really everything that's happened, we were able to get them in advance of that. Really, thanks to the help of the Fontaine team being so well on everything and working through everything, and also the KBA team working through the FF&E and IT to make sure everything was ready for them to be seamlessly moved in. So we're very happy with that, but this is just to cover the town's end, Fontaine's end, KBA's end, PMA's end, to readjust the substantial completion date for the project. And then PCO 122, $50,662 for the cell amplification system per the AHJ. And Greg, I'll let you kind of run through that one.
Yeah, so in the basis of design, there was a system for bidirectional amplification, which is not cell phones. That is specific to emergency communicator radios, essentially. In the fire substation, we were not required to put that in with the tower that was associated with that building and the coverage that gives us in that building. We were able to delete the bidirectional amplification system, knowing that we had healthy reserves in the contingency, as well as that deletion that had a fairly significant credit. We looked to add cellular amplification. That is basically cell phone coverage within the building. These buildings are fairly large, and that particular area has very little cell phone coverage just generally. So inside the building is basically a blackout zone for cell phones. This system gives everybody within the building cell phone coverage within the building. That is helpful, particularly for the first responders there, in their trucks and both on their persons with their cell phones. Most of them have their brick system, which is your communication tool really for them. So this allows for kind of a seamless transition from in to out of the building. So they're not breaking up or losing connection when they leave the building. If they were like on Wi-Fi or something like that, you always get that that dropout. So this eliminates that and provides much better coverage within the building.
Does it matter what network you're on? Because I know in my house,
this one covers all the networks.
All networks. Okay. Which is interesting, because again, in my house we have two different networks, and one has service and one doesn't.
So that is all of the PCOs that we have for change order 10. So happy to take any questions. about
Okay.
either the change order or what's going on at fire substation or public safety or DPW.
Were you able to attend the walkthrough today? Was that
I
this
did.
morning? So I'm anxious to hear because I missed it. I will be there, I think, tomorrow with some
Evening,
of the,
yep.
tomorrow evening.
Yep.
So thank you both for the continued, and Dottie, and Walter, you guys already discussed the attention to detail that you guys bring to this project and why we're where we're at with our contingency to date. And the fact that we're in the substation, I think, is fantastic. So I'm really excited for tomorrow, and I'm excited to hear about your walkthrough.
Sure. Jen?
I live not too far from the substation, and I've been like waiting to see the impact, and it really has been just when there's a call. A couple times I've been through, it's quick. It's worked out very, very well. And the station, from what I couldn't do the walkthrough either, but from outside it looks fantastic, and I look very forward to seeing the inside. So, and as Jamie said, thank you for your continued attention to detail and thoroughness. Like, it's hard to have questions because you cover them all.
Our firefighters are very, very excited about this, and I got a kick out of the fact that a couple weeks ago, maybe it was a week ago, we got an email from Chief Alexander from the building, and he was really excited about being able to send it out to us from the building. It's just very exciting, and kudos to you guys for all the work that you did.
Well, we had the opportunity to do a walkthrough this morning. So our town administrator and deputy and Elizabeth, we had a bunch of people there, and Stonehill, Father Denning, the president of Stonehill, was there with his team. He was delighted. The whole team was. Everybody was just smiling from ear to ear. It's just it's amazing. First of all, somebody who lives in the neighborhood also, like, it just looks like it's always been there. The attention to detail in there is really terrific. Every part of the space is so well utilized and thought out. There's nothing extra over the top. There's so much in there that protects health and safety of our firefighters, which is so important, that they're able to have the exhaust fumes taken out of the facility, where the bays are, but also when they put their gear in after it's washed and cleaned and brought in, there's still some smoky residue, so that room is designed so that it takes the exhaust out at a zero pressurization, I think was the term. Just so many great things, and the fire staff, they're just so thrilled to be able to benefit from this new station. It's good for them, it's good for the public, it's good for our tax dollars to not keep pouring money into old failing buildings. So I really hope that people will come on August 6th at 10 a.m. Whether you were somebody who supported this or somebody who was skeptical about it or somebody who still thinks we shouldn't have done it, come and see it and see what it looks like and really understand the project. And I think that it's a home run for sure. I can't wait to see the rest of it, which the Depot Street is supposed to be around the end of the year, beginning of next year. That's going up really amazingly quick every time I go by, seeing new features. So. So much to congratulate you guys and the team. A lot of planning. Jamie, thank you for being on that committee. And yeah, all great stuff to report. And these contingencies, we're going to see more of these at the end. This is very typical at the end of a big project like this. I feel like it's, these are all intermingled between the substation and the bigger site, but still to be this low at this far into a big project is really, a great attention to detail. So thank you very much for that.
So I move to approve change order number 10 in the amount of $185,684.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous.
Can I give you one more update? Because I think you've seen it, but I don't know if the rest of the board
Sure.
has. Blanche Ames has officially been closed out
Yes.
with the MSBA as of June 28th. Voter approved budget at town meeting and ballot was $94.8 million. Final cost was $81.6 million. $13.1 million under budget.
Wow.
14% under budget.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's
That's really great. And the reimbursement was on target for what we thought, because the reimbursement, you get a number at the beginning of the percentage, but then they have to look and see what you really did, because some things don't qualify for the reimbursement.
Yep. The max grant was 36 million. The final grant was 33.9 million. But that really has to do with the bid savings and low contingency expenditure throughout. So every dollar was maximized there.
Fantastic.
Awesome,
Fantastic.
terrific.
Absolutely wonderful.
Awesome. Well, now all your future prospects for work, they should watch this meeting and see see what a great job you were doing.
Yeah, great job,
Thank
guys.
you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we are on to the DPW. Discussion and vote for contract DPW 2026-21. This is Amendment 1 for Apex Engineering Services Industrial Park Sewer Phase 2 as part of the Town of Easton's ongoing efforts to improve and expand infrastructure. Apex Engineering has been selected through a formal request for proposals to process to assist the Department of Public Works with the design and construction of sanitary sewer improvements within the Easton Industrial Park. The project area includes, but is not limited to, Belmont Street, Bristol Drive, Norfolk Avenue, Plymouth Drive, Hampton Drive, and Renker Drive. You want to take it from here?
Sure. Thank you. The reason for this amendment is really that we split up the original design project into Amendment 1 and Amendment 2, or Phase 1 and Phase 2, because we're going for an EDA grant. We're unsuccessful in getting that for this phase of the work. We're hopefully going to pursue that for future phases. But now we're releasing the rest of the design work for Apex. So this is $963,370 amendment to bring the total design cost to $1,399,070, and $2.2 million was appropriated at town meeting for the design.
Terrific. And we're still looking at applying, again, for the construction part of this, but also we've asked our legislators for earmarks. Everybody knows we're asking for money for this project, so we're going to keep asking until they keep pushing us away when they see us coming. But this is really great to keep moving along on this. This is going to be such a benefit to the community and to our businesses.
Yeah, we have a $2 million earmark was put into the environmental bond bill by Senator Driscoll. So we're hopeful that will actually come to fruition as well.
We also received catalyst money, MBTA catalyst money, for the extension on Belmont Street. We just learned that the excess we have on that project, which there is an excess, the bids came in lower than anticipated. We should be able to apply that excess to this project. So we're looking somewhere in the $700,000 range would hopefully be applied to this overall project. So that's great news.
Wow,
That's really great news.
excellent.
Any comments, questions?
No, just thanks. Thank you, Dave. You and the team.
I move to approve contract DPW 2026-21, Amendment 1, Apex Engineering Services, Industrial Park Sewer Phase 2, in the amount of $963,370.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous, terrific. Next, we have discussion and vote for contract DPW 2026-24, Woodard and Curran for SCADA services.
Yes, so Woodard and Curran's our application engineer for our SCADA system. Primarily it was for our water side, but we've added the sewer over the last 10 years or so. And as we've added more and more things, both water and sewer, those we used to have separate contracts that were under the threshold, so we wouldn't really come to the select board for it. We've combined those into one contract now for both water and sewer. So that's why you're seeing a contract for you today for $45,000 for Woodard and Curran. This is being just paid for out of the normal operating budget of both of those enterprise funds.
So the SCADA system for people at home is the computer technology that allows them to monitor and move things around.
That's
in the
correct.
systems?
Supervisory control and data acquisition. And this basically automates and monitors all of our water and sewer functions. So we know when those alarms go off, it shuts pumps on and off, handles all of our operations, and all our operators have it on their phone. They can operate the entire town. So it's a really great system. Easton was an early adopter to SCADA, 20, 30 years ago, and we've continued that.
We toured, when we first toured the facility at the shovel shop complex, that was one of the early versions of it. And then when we toured the water plants and the other treatment plants, just seeing the technology change even in those years is just amazing, because I don't think at the beginning you could remote in as easily as you could now. So if they get an alarm that something's happening, they can go in and they can shut off valves and move things around. It's very cool.
Yep.
So, all right, Craig?
So I move to approve contract DPW 2026-24 Woodard and Curran SCADA Services, the amount of $45,000.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. Next is a discussion and vote for contract DPW 2027-03. This is with Waste Management for town and school building dumpster services.
Previously, municipal dumpsters and for school and town were put under the same contract with Waste Management for our curbside collection. Since we've discontinued our curbside collection, we did a new contract with Waste Management just for dumpsters. They've held the price that they've been charging us, so it's basically the same cost going forward with escalators and related to the cost of living index in out years. So it's a 3-year contract with an option for another 2-year extension. The cost in year one is $150,973.34, and with the cost to be paid by each appropriate department.
Terrific. Any questions?
I move to approve contract DPW 2027-03 Waste Management, town and school building dumpster services for the total amount of $475,943 for the 3-year contract.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. Item 9 is contract awards for Southeastern Regional Services Group, water and sewer treatment, chemicals, Borden and Remington Corp., Harcross Chemicals, Holland Company, July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027.
I have nothing to say on this. It's not my item, but this is the items we use. It's our annual surcharge bid for both water and sewer chemicals and supplies for DPW. So I think you said it in your packet. I think it's ready to go.
All right. Any questions? All right,
I
Craig?
move to approve the contract award for Southeastern Regional Services Group, water and sewer treatment chemicals, Borden and Remington Corp., Harcross Chemicals, Holland Company, July 1, 2026 to June 30th, 2027.
Second.
It's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. And the last DPW one is contract awards for Southeastern Regional Services Group DPW supplies for Ferguson Waterworks, John Hoadley and Sons, Amries Northeast, Classic Tractor Services, G. Lopes Construction, Dennis K. Burke Incorporated, T.L. Edwards, LaRusso Corp., Core and Maine, Peterson Oil, and this is for July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. It's also in our packet, and this would authorize the chair to sign all of these contracts as well. And that's it on this one. Any comments,
nothing
questions?
further.
I move to approve contract awards for Southeastern Regional Services Group, DPW supplies, July 1, 26 to June 30th, 27.
Second.
So that's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. Terrific. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, David.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, David.
Have a good night.
All right, item 11 is an acceptance of a resignation from the Cultural Council, Nasreen Shreebly, with a term expiring June 30th, 2028. And we'd just like to thank Nasreen for the time that they put on the committee and their volunteer efforts for the town.
Move to accept the resignation from the Cultural Council of Nasreen Shibli, the term expiring June 30th, 2028.
Second.
So that's Bodger and Stacy with a roll call vote.
Stebbins Shibli.
Stacy Shibley.
Full Janetti Shebly.
Barger Shibli.
All right. We are to the end here. So the acceptance of minutes of June 29th, 2026.
So move with the amendments as one amendment put out. Yep.
Second.
That's Bodger and Stacy, all in favor? Unanimous. Town administrator and deputy town administrator notes.
So it was already referenced earlier this evening, but I just wanted to make note that the ribbon cutting at the new fire station, which is now known as Station 1, that is open to the public, and that will be held on August 6th at 10 a.m. and their new address is 321 Main Street. Sean and I were able to attend a couple different trainings last week. They were very interesting. One session was on how to better leverage our partnership in the best interest of the town and kind of working off of one another's skill sets and everything. So that was pretty interesting. Connor was there as well. It was a very interesting panel. And then we were able to attend another session that MMA put on. Sean was actually moderating part of that group discussion, and that focused more broadly on communications townwide. And I thought that there was a lot of useful information that we can bring back to the town and implement. So
Great.
I don't want to steal your thunder, but the summer concert series, I got to go, and that was my first one ever. So I feel like it was a really good one to go. There were, like you said, 400 people. I was jazzed up because like you had it just was like the community event that you would expect to have, like people walking in the streets. Shoveltown was there. People had pizza, people with wigs on, up speaking about the Declaration of Independence. It was awesome. It was just really cool to see everything in motion. And the Cultural District at this point, year 6 in a row, has really done an amazing job with setting everything up. And the band was awesome as well. We had that special guest that sang she was part of the band, but sang the Star Spangled Banner before it started. Fantastic. So just kudos to the Cultural District for putting on a really great event for that. And maybe that's a good time to say, I'm sure you were going to mention it as well, but.
Well, that was the first night. Usually the first night is not as super well attended because people are still kind of getting into the groove of, oh, they started that already. We had almost 400 people. I counted 370 because we keep track of that so that we can report it back to Mass Cultural and ask for more money. And I have to say we have now reached the point where we need a police detail there, and the officers that come to these are super helpful and really like very much hands-on, help us with getting the road set up and everything like that. So we really appreciate that, and it was just great. So the next concert is this Wednesday.
The 22nd.
And it's Pink Houses, so
cool.
Definitely join us. So do you have any select board comments?
No.
Nothing from me.
Right. All right, well, with that then, I'm going to ask for us to adjourn into executive session under Purpose 3 of Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 21A, to discuss strategy with respect to negotiations with collective bargaining units if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body. The Select Board will not come back to open session, so I will take a motion to adjourn into executive session with a roll call vote.
So moved, Barger.
Second,
That's Bodger and Stacy.
Stebbins, yes.
Stacy, yes.
Full Janetti, yes?
Barger, yes.
All right, thank you, everybody, for being here tonight, and thank you, ECAT, as always. Joe, you do such a great job, and we appreciate you. Have a good week, everyone.